All right, friends, back out here this morning. I tried to finish these off last night, but it got too late. And I also wanted to show you guys something about these that may help a lot of you guys out there that are running sawmills. In the past probably 2 to 3 years, sawmills have gotten really popular. I think it's because of these YouTube videos, to be honest with you. A lot of people saw what these mills can do and they want to buy one. And that's great. I love it. I wish everybody could have a sawmill. There's nothing better, in my opinion, than sawing open a log and seeing it for the first time. It's hard to beat, guys. I can't really explain it to you until you're here to witness it or be the one running the mill. It's really interesting. So something I'm seeing though in a lot of these Facebook groups and on some of the forums, people will post, just got my sawmill, cutting my first order, which I don't think is a smart thing to do. If you got a sawmill, it's your first mill, you probably shouldn't be sawing orders until you get a few logs under your belt, kind of learn how to work things and learn how to read these logs, because there's a whole lot to it. And I'm trying to put this in a nice way. Don't buy a sawmill, bring it home, and then the next day put up a picture saying sawed my first order of poplar and it's the second log you've ever sawed. There's a lot more to this than just throwing a log on here and sawing. There's a lot to it, a whole lot to it. And something I'm seeing is a lot of guys are putting up pictures of 4x4s or 6x6s, whatever, and they got the pith and most of the juvenile wood on the outside or the side of the post. Let me show you guys what that looks like and what I'm doing here, which is the proper way to do it. You don't want any of the pith inside of a post. I'm seeing guys cutting post and they're having the pith like right here, or maybe right here to this corner, or off-centered up here in this area. Guys, if you can't get the pith in the middle of your post or in that general area, it don't have to be perfect. If it's off a ½ inch or so, that's okay. I'm not going to fuss at you for that, but you want that pith right in the middle. But if you can't get it in the middle, or you have a big enough log like this right here, this was a white oak, it was really good size, so I got a lot of post out of it. Make your post free of heart. There's no pith in this. This is going to be free of heart, mostly rift sawn right here, which is pretty stable for a post. And the most important reason, friends, is something a lot of you guys may not be aware of, the pith or the heartwood in your log. So if this is the log, it does shrink in the length. So a lot of people aren't aware of that. So if you put that on the edge of a post and you come back later and that post has a bow in it, it's because the wood is shrinking in its length right there. It happens every time, guys. I see posts all the time where somebody will saw something for somebody, they'll come back later on and say, why did these warp or bow up? And the pith will be on the outside edge. And that pith is getting shorter and it's drawing that post in, making it, you know, bow up. It's terrible, it's terrible. But don't let me discourage you. What in the world's that? Another cat up here. I tell you what, I got cats everywhere. But don't let me discourage you. If it's all you have to work with and you do have a pith on the outside face, so be it, but don't sell that to anybody. Keep it for your own use, because it's not a good product to sell, because you don't want your name on it out there, because they'll talk. People will know if you're doing stuff that's not proper, and those phone calls will stop coming in for orders. So let's go ahead now and make 2 more cuts on this white oak and get it done, because he'll be here in 30 minutes. We got to finish up here, guys. We got so much to do today. All right, friends, my customer just left out of here. He got his white oak. He was happy with the order. And before we get started on the list of things I need to get done today, let me show you guys something. This is a small maple tree up here beside the sawmill building. And if you look right there, that's a hornet nest. I couldn't see that until the leaves fell last week, but that's a pretty good sized nest. And somebody on Facebook posted the other day, so it's got to be true, that if a hornet nest is more than 10 feet off the ground, it's going to be a bad winter. And as you can see, that's well over 10 feet off the ground. I have no idea if that's true. It was on Facebook, so it's got to be true, right? It's got to be true. But if you guys out there have ever heard that before, leave me a comment down below. I've never heard of that before, and I've never seen a hornet nest that high in a tree. Maybe it's true, I don't know. Looky there. The hatefulest cat on YouTube. The famous mama cat. Mama, you gonna look at your fans or what? She could care less. Let's jump in the 574, fill up the diesel tank. This is gonna be painful. Look how dirty my windshield is. Somebody needs to clean that up. I have 3 of these TYM tractors, 25 horsepower. This one's 55 horsepower. The big guy, he's 75 horsepower. And out of all 3 of these tractors, I think this one right here is my favorite one as being the most versatile. I can't see nothing out of this windshield. I'm going to clean that thing today. Well, if you guys can hear the chickens, they are really loud in the morning. That's usually when they start laying their eggs. All right, let's fill this thing up. So somebody was asking me just the other day about how I feel about politics and what kind of political party do I belong to. And that's one thing I've never done on this channel is talk about politics. You guys hear that? I got an army base or a National Guard over the mountain back here. They've been flying over a lot here lately. I think one of them's getting ready to come over. But anyways, people have been asking me about my political beliefs, and I thought I would tell you guys what they are today. And that's how I voted in the last election. So for you guys out there that are interested in my political beliefs, there you go. Looks like we're about full. Next task of the day, I need to put a cover over this little bin of firewood here. And I think I can do that with the bladder that came out of it. What are you girls being so loud for today? Looks pretty good, but I think I need to cut these slats a little deeper right here so it will fit down a few more inches. I think that's a lot better. I think that will do right there. It's kind of crooked though, but I think that matters a whole lot. After all, it's just a little firewood tote. Put a few holes here at the bottom and run some baling twine tight to the cage. This thing will be done right here, not too bad.